What's up, Warrior fans? Welcome into today's show, and today is game day. The Golden State Warriors face off against the Brooklyn Nets to open up their season. If you're not already, give me a follow on Twitter at Jimmy_Crowther. We can talk all things Warriors or NBA in general at that account that you see right here at Jimmy_Crowther. Let's get into some game day news. Draymond Green will not be with the Warriors tonight. He is set to miss the first game, dealing with a muscle strain in his right foot. Now, remember, Draymond was kind of already in question because he never played in the preseason. He barely got any training camp time due to COVID-19 protocols, and that kind of kept him out for a while. But it's nothing to do with COVID. It's simply because he's dealing with a foot injury, one that won't really keep him out, I think, past game number one. But the Warriors are going to be cautious with him just because, look, they can't really afford to have any major injuries throughout the year. And Draymond would honestly probably be the biggest injury to happen next to anything that could happen to Steph Curry. So now we look at who could replace him in the starting five because he's obviously penciled in as their starting power forward. Look, Kevon Looney and Marquise Chris are probably the two best players, at least skill-wise, on this list. Maybe Eric Pascal, you can make the argument there. But the thing is, they're more, I would put them more in the center category. I wouldn't play them at power forward very often. I think they are better suited at the 5 and maybe Marquise Chris a little bit at the 4. And so really your two options are Eric Pascal and Alen Smailagic. Well, Smailagic is day-to-day with an injury himself, and Eric Pascal is the only other one that really showed promise in the regular season last year and a little bit in the preseason, although he didn't have great preseason numbers. So go ahead and make your predictions, or really just let me know who you want. Who should be starting in place of Draymond Green? Let me know in the comments section. Maybe you like Smailagic, maybe you really like Kevon Looney or Marquise Chris. That's fine. You can say that in the comments. But my answer would be Eric Pascal. I think he is the perfect fit in this Warriors starting 5. He's a good shooter. He's a very strong rebounder when he needs to be. And honestly, he plays a little bit like Draymond. You know, he doesn't have quite this, or he's got the same build as Draymond, I should say. Defensively, he's not really all the way there compared to Draymond Green, but I think he's a good option to replace him, at least for the time being. Look, you're not going to ask Pascal to go and do that much, but in his rookie year, 14 points per game and 5 rebounds, that's pretty darn good. As long as he can finish around the rim well and bang down low with bigger power forwards, I think he'll be just fine. Now, Warrior fans, the season is finally here, and that means our Warriors coverage is ramping up, but only when you subscribe. So go ahead and subscribe today to youtube.com/WarriorsTV. You see the link right underneath me, or click this little notification bell. It looks just like this. That way you're the first to know when we post a brand new Golden State Warriors video just like this one. Maybe you've already got your notifications on. You're like, Jimmy, I got it. Hey, if you already have your notifications on, why don't you put the bell emoji in the comments for us to let us know that you already got that done. Now, let's talk about the real big man that everybody's thinking about right now, in James Wiseman. He is set to play in Game 1. That news came out earlier this morning. Now, remember, he didn't play in the preseason. He didn't play much in training camp. He only played 3 games in college. None of that matters. Shams Charania is reporting that he will not only play, but he will start Game 1. I thought there was a little bit of a question there whether or not he'd get in, but I think this is the smart move by Steve Kerr and the Golden State Warriors to start their prized rookie. Hey, if nothing else, to at least see what they've got in him, where he's going to be playing against some really stiff competition with the Brooklyn Nets big men. So Wiseman early on is going to get thrown to the wolves and have a chance to prove himself. Now, before I break down the news about James Wiseman starting a little bit more, I want to remind you about the deal going on at Fanatics. I've told you about it before. I'm going to tell you about it again. I'm going to tell you about it until they sell out. Chatsports.com/Dubs deal. Any gear you need, anything you want is available at that link, including James Wiseman jerseys, Steph Curry jerseys, Draymond Green jerseys, or if you want to go a little bit of throwback, they've got that as well. They also have hats, T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, and actual game shorts available for purchase at chatsports.com/Dubs deal. Go pick up your Dubs gear today because the season's beginning. You don't want to be left behind. One more time, that link is chatsports.com/Dubs deal. Now, I said James Wiseman would be dealing with some stiff competition with the Golden State Warriors, and they have 2 really reliable bigs, Jared Allen and DeAndre Jordan. Now, Jordan is more of that experienced guy. You can see they're both letting the hair grow in different fashions, but they're 2 really solid players. Look, Jordan is probably a better offensive threat a little bit there. He's a better rebounder, just barely. But I think Jared Allen is the better overall player. 11 points per game and 10 rebounds last year, 1.3 block shots per game. Wiseman's biggest impact is going to have to come on the boards because I don't think offensively he's going to get a lot of great shots off against these two guys. And remember, like I said, Wiseman only played 3 college games. This is the first basketball he will play since he played against Oregon way back in college. He played against SC State to open up his career, 28 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks. Then he goes up against the University of Illinois at Chicago, 17 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocked shots. And then he played a little stiffer competition, didn't fare too well against Oregon at 14 points and 12 boards, all averaging 20, 10, and 3 in just his 3 games as a freshman in college. But he's in the big boy leagues now, so it's going to be a little bit different. I want you to predict his stats. What kind of numbers is Wiseman going to put up in game 1? Or, excuse me, I learned today it's actually pronounced Weissman. So, James Wiseman, what kind of numbers is he going to put up? Hopefully big numbers because I got him on my fantasy team, so I'm going to need him to step up in a big way in game 1. Go ahead and predict his stats in the comment section. Now let's get into some news, just to kind of finish out today's show. Juan Toscano-Anderson has signed the second 2-way contract available for the Golden State Warriors. He only played 15 minutes per game in the preseason, but he was on this team last year. Remember, he played in 13 games, started 6 of those 13 games in very, very limited time for Golden State. Now, the Warriors only had the one 2-way contract left to give out after they signed Nico Mannion to their other one. And Toscano-Anderson is probably a safe bet because he's already pretty familiar with this Warriors organization. Last year in the 13 games that he played in, he's kind of a do-it-all forward. He's not great at one thing, but he's kind of good at a lot of little things. 5 points, 4 boards per game, 2 assists, 35% from 3. Look, he's 26 years old. He's kind of a project, but at the same time, at 26, you're not going to get really a whole lot out of him. So this is more of a safe bet. This is a, hey, just in case some of our wings go down, we've got Toscano-Anderson coming off the bench. Now, the two-way guys for the Golden State Warriors, Nico Mannion and I guess we'll call him JTA here, didn't have great preseasons. Neither of them made a single three-pointer. Juan Toscano-Anderson actually didn't even make a single field goal, and Nico Mannion only shot 18% from the field. Now, I will say this about Nico. His energy looked great on the floor, and I believe that he will make an impact on this team when the time is right, but I'm not sure he's there yet. Toscano-Anderson, again, that's a guy who 2 rebounds, 2 assists per game, one of these forwards that can kind of do a little bit of everything, but you're never going to ask him to do one thing in particular. I talked about Juan Toscano-Anderson, I talked about James Wiseman, and I talked about Draymond Green on today's show. But I want to know who your favorite Warrior is on this team this year besides Steph Curry or Klay Thompson. Let me know in the comments. I know a lot of you guys love Kent Bazemore. I know a lot of y'all love Kevon Looney as well. But let me know in the comment section your favorite Golden State Warrior. If I had to be honest, and you guys know me, and listen, I've gotten some flack for not being a homer enough on the Warriors channel. It's because I'm not a Warriors fan. I just report about the Warriors, and I bring you all the truth about them. But I will tell you, besides Steph or Klay, my favorite player on this Golden State Warrior team has got to be Kelly Oubre. So maybe you agree with me in the comment section. Let me know who it is down below.